It's been a while since I made a video on this channel, so I want to actually do a video on one of the really interesting books that I'm reading right now, and I've actually posted a tweet a couple of moments ago saying that if Dr. Benjamin Hardy, let's see, so if Dr. I'm not sure if this is visible. Let's make it more visible. So yeah, like this. If Dr. Benjamin Hardy read 1,000 plus books in the last couple of years to actually write this book, The Gap and the Gain, of course with the amazing Dan Sullivan, so I'm actually going to read this book. And I've said that one of the books by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, or Ben Hardy, that I've actually gone through for at least 10 times in the past couple of months is Willpower Doesn't Work. And I'm actually going through that book on a constant basis. So as soon as I finish it, I start getting through it over and over again as an audiobook. I purchased the audiobook on Audible. And I believe that book is really important to me because it stresses on the fact that the environment has an impact on you. So it actually takes the burden out of the willpower. That's why Ben says that willpower doesn't work. And it actually, the issue that we have when we aren't able to change ourselves is because of the environment we live in. The environment we live in shapes us. So it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it, but if you're someone who's actually been traveling, you see how you think differently in a different environment. I've been traveling a lot over the past, let's say, 9 to 10 years, and I've seen how my patterns of thinking change as I change the environment. And I don't know why it took that long to realize. Actually, Ben's book, so it's an irony because we're not talking about the gap and the gain here. We're talking about willpower. It doesn't work. So I don't know why it took that long to actually click. But as I started going through the book for the first time, I think the first time I read the book, then I purchased the audio version of it because it's easier to actually re-emphasize the important aspects of the book as you go through it. And it actually takes little time to go through the entire book. It's like 7 or 8 hours. So I get to go through the book once every 1 or 2 weeks. Anyways, maybe I'm gonna do a video on that book as well. But for now, The Gap and the Gain has just been released. It's been available on Kindle for $1, I think. They had a promotion where they had the book for $1. It may be $1 as well right now, but maybe not. You might want to check it out and see. But this book actually talks about the gap and the gain. And the concept of the gap and the gain, let me see if I have it over here somewhere. I think I highlighted the important aspect of it. Or not. I should have. So yes, this is it. This entire illustration actually explains the concept of the gap and the gain. When you are in the gap, you measure yourself against your ideal self. So consider the gap as being in a low mindset, in a scarcity mindset, in that type of mindset that Carol Dweck tells about in her book Mindset. When you're in the gap mindset, you're actually measuring yourself against an ideal self. And of course, when you measure yourself, your present self, versus an ideal self, you're actually going to experience frustration and negative feelings. When you are in the gain, let's actually do the gain with a green color here. So when you are in the gain, you're actually measuring your present self against your former self. And of course, most often than not, you'll see some progress. And that's actually an abundance mindset. That's what Carol Dweck would call an abundance mindset. If we go back on the next page, it says, so you have an ideal in your mind and you're measuring yourself against your ideal rather than against the actual progress you've made, which is your present self versus your former self. This is why you're unhappy with what you've done, and it's probably why you are unhappy with everything in your life. So you're measuring yourself in the gap. This concept has been put on or conceptualized by Dan Sullivan. And actually Ben talks about this over here. So this is the main thing or the main theme of the book, and I would really actually encourage you to get the book and start start practicing being in the game mindset. And of course, I do want to re-emphasize that you might want to look into the willpower doesn't work, which actually talks about how your environment shapes you, of course. And one way to change yourself, you need to change your environment, whether you're talking about the actual physical place that you're living in or the people that you're surrounding with, you surround yourself with. In order to change yourself, you need to change this aspect. Anyways, I think the willpower doesn't work book is also always running at a low price on Kindle. It's probably $2 or $3, so it's definitely worth checking out. So this is it for the video.